New supervisor asked me for doctor's note. This happened last week. I thought it belongs on this sub. My company is very busy and very short of staff and is asking everyone for overtime and imploring to come and work on their days off. I got sick last week, was feeling very poorly and took a COVID test and it was positive. This was on my day off, called work, said I'm positive for COVID and won't go to work on the next couple of days. They said okay, no problem. 2 days later on Monday I'm feeling worse and called again and asked for my supervisor. He wasn't there and I talked with the new assistant that started 2 weeks ago and tell him I'm taking another couple of days since I'm feeling very bad with coughing and muscle pain, and he tells no, I have to come to work sick or get a doctor's note. It's very hard to see a doctor where I live if you have COVID. Where I am, the government asks employers not to ask for doctor's note for COVID since all doctors are busy and overworked. I asked him, are you sure you want me to get a doctor's note for COVID, and since when do we need a note? He keeps affirm I need one. I said sure, I will call my doctor. Called my doctor's office and asked for appointment with doctor. Reason I have COVID and I need a note. Secretary tells doctor will call me in a couple of hours. I was very lucky. When I talked with the doctor, he tells me sure, no problem, I'm putting you off sick for 10 days. I emailed the note to my supervisor and human resources saying instead of the 2 extra days that I asked to be off work, my doctor decided that I needed more time off, so I will be back only next week. Here is the note. Haven't heard a peep from them. Awesome. Feel better. I've seen this scenario a couple of times. Boss, HR demand doctor's note. Doctor pissed that they have to provide note. Give person extra time off. That's the drawback from remote working. Even if a little sick, you can still work. Probably for the best if you go right back to work when you feel better. It will put you back to bed for 2 to 3 more days. I found that out the hard way. I tested positive for COVID and was only entitled to 5 days unless I get a doctor's note. I put in a full day on the 6th day. Still positive BTW. And wasn't feeling great on the 7th. They wouldn't let me take off unless I had a doctor's note. And wouldn't pay me for the work I put in on the 6th day until I produced a note. Since that was the case, I told my manager if I wasn't going to get paid anyway, I'm taking the day off to get a doctor's note. He changed his tune real quick and told me to wait. I got the doctor's note. Haha, this is brilliant. The last time I was told that I needed a doctor's note, I drove to work to clock in. When asked why, I told him that I'm heading to a work-required meeting with my doctor, and I asked them for the company's billing information for the doctor to bill them. He looked at me like I was nuts. So I explained that the law requires the company to pay me for company-mandated work obligations. And if I have to pay for the doctor out of pocket, it will reduce me to less than minimum wage, so unless they wanted to pay that fine as well, then it's best to just bill it to the company instead. The manager stared at me a few seconds and told me to just go home. Now fortunately I am friends with that manager, so it worked out, but it's absolutely a hill that I'm willing to die on. I pulled a fast one on HR one time. I had a chipped jawbone some years back and needed oral surgery to have the problem taken care of. What's worse than a toothache? A toothache where there is no longer a tooth. From the onset to being released. I was off work for about a month. Doc suggested to remove a few other teeth while he was at it. Okay. I show up for the scheduled surgery. Painless oral surgeon. Either that, or the pain from that bone chip was so excruciating that anything was a relief after that. Returned for work. And called into the HR office. HR guy thought he'd be a smart ass and asked to see the teeth as proof. I laid out 3.5 teeth on his desk. One was broken long prior to the surgery. He was surprised as hell. Doc was surprised when I asked to keep them. But I had a feeling I'd need them. Wait. What? If you get tested positive, you don't need to stay at home for at least 10 days? What about being infectious? How does that not risk everyone else's health? Probably not the place for this discussion. But so far I thought the US government was reasonably intelligent about its policy. And it was just the Karens complaining. Relax and enjoy your time off. Isn't that normal procedure? I had COVID a month ago. Called my doctor. Got a 10-day note. Sent it to work. No problems. Haha, great. Have a relaxing break once you're over the Rona. Hope you feel better. As behind as they are with work. If they can't afford to have you off, how behind are they going to get if you come in as ordered and get more people sick? Stupid, stupid, stupid. I have been recommending to my staff to get notes from their doctors and email them to HR. The people I report to are constantly going on about productivity and absenteeism. This way, the employee can get some time off and rest without being bothered with, "Why aren't you at work today?" or coming into a BS write-up for being absent for so long. It has saved the staff so many headaches. Maybe I have been lucky all these years. But I think having to bring in a doctor's note to your employer is insulting and demeaning. I've never seen it or had to do it. TL. Doctor. Supervisor wisely decides to check with a doctor to ensure that a sick employee doesn't infect the rest of the staff by returning to work too early. I'm guessing you are in Canada? Maybe QC? Just because we had the same thing. Hard to get an apt and government asking employers to not ask for a NATE. Take the full 10 days to recover. Rest and feel better. Be extra petty, and after you come back, be like, "Just wanted to thank you for pushing me to see my doctor." 10 days off was much better than the few I had in mind. All thanks to you. Tongue out. Bro, you can't be around people only a few days into COVID. You'd infect people.
If you enjoyed this video, please check out our playlists full of similar content. Epicaricast is like doom scrolling for your ears. Please like, share, and subscribe.